All right. Okay, Dave, the show's about to begin. And so now it is time to ask you a trivia question like we do at the beginning of most shows. Okay?
Great idea.
This trivia question, though, Dave, I think you're actually going to get it. Here it is. Where should you never bring a knife to?
It's like bringing sand to the beach.
What?
A gunfight.
Thank you, Dave. I was like, I can't believe he doesn't. I mean, I'm surprised at some of the things you don't know. Like, you know, there are people who've been listening to the show know that there are things that are really, 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 really common that you don't seem to have ever heard of. And so,
like secrets?
Yeah. Let's get the show started, shall we? Welcome to 6 Unseemly Questions. I'm your host, Victor Varnado. This is my sidekick, Dave Rosinsky. We've got a great contestant on the show today. Everybody put your hands together for Carole Montgomery. All right. Welcome. Carole.
Hello.
Hello.
We've lost some people.
Oh, not just yet. We have our studio audience that we're about to introduce. Our studio audience today is Stephen Edwards and Rachel Teichman. All right.
Oh, yes.
Hi there. Hi, guys.
There they are.
It's wonderful to have you all on the show. All right. So, Carole, I'm going to tell you how the show works, and then we're going to get started. I'm going to ask you 6 unseemly questions. At the end of each question, I'll ring a bell if I like your answer, like this. However, if I do not like your answer, I will not ring a bell, and I'll tell you why. Regardless of how many bells you get, at the end of the show, I'll decide whether or not it's worth giving you $5 whole for your appearance on the show.
Oh, boy. I'm so excited.
That sounded sort of genuine. Now, it's time for your first question, so let's get to it. How do you most like chicken prepared?
I can eat chicken any way possible, but usually I like it roasted and with the skin off because I'm old and I can't have the skin.
Roasted and with the skin off?
Well, you roast it with the skin and then you take the skin off when you eat it.
Oh, you do? I don't think I've ever had chicken like that. Is it
really?
Better? Well, I mean, roasted with the and then peel the skin off of it.
Yeah. I mean,
it was like a vampire or something, you know.
It's healthier if you take the skin off if you don't eat it, but that's how I like it.
Yeah, I believe that is true.
Yes.
And you know, you taught me. I guess I'd never peeled the skin off. I didn't actually know it was healthier, so I'm gonna say I learned something. You get a bell.
There you go.
All right, Carole. It is time for question number 2, but before we do that, can you tell people out there what you do?
I'm a comedian.
I know, it's funny.
Thank you. And I'm a director, and I'm a producer. I'm a mom. I do everything. I created a show called Funny Women of a Certain Age, which is a comedy showcase for female comics over the age of 50. And our third special is airing November 24th on Showtime.
Cool. Awesome. That's great. I didn't know it was up to number 3. That's really awesome.
Thank you.
Wow.
Yeah.
Amazing. Of a certain age specifically refers to 50 and above. I'd
50 and above.
I'd heard that phrase before, and I didn't know exactly what it means. Thank you for defining it.
Well, I've defined it for my show. I don't know if it's but and we have women sometimes who are 40 or 41 because in show business, you pretty much
don't ask, right?
Yeah. Well, in show business, you're pretty much done by the time you're 15 anyway. So you could be over a certain age and be 60.
Yeah, that's great. Anyway, I'm just really happy this series is continuing. That rocks.
Thank you.
All right, now it's time for question number 2. Question number 2, have you been in a physical fight?
Yes.
Yes? That was like a very quick yes, but not everybody is, so.
Yes, I've been in, not for a long time, but I don't know I guess you'd consider this a physical fight. When I was a kid, I'm going to say I was about probably a teenager, young, like preteen, like 12 or 13 years old. And my sister's boyfriend was over. My parents were out and they were having a fight. And one of the things about me is that if I'm sleeping and someone wakes me up, you better run because I'm going to kill you. So I was asleep. And they were fighting, and I heard him hit her, and I came flying out of my bedroom and jumped on his back and took a hunk of. I bit him in the back, like in the
Wow.
Yeah, and I bit him on that, and he had a welt there, and he couldn't get me off. It was like a monster, and he's like, "Get off of me!" And I was so that's the one I really remember. But yeah, no, so yeah, I have been in many fights.
Well, there you go. You know what? That was a heart-pounding story. I loved it.
It was a good one.
You must be a fantastic parent. That's just great.
Actually, it's funny you should mention that, Stephen. My son is probably, when people meet him, they go, "Are you sure Carole's your mother?" Because he's such a kind and sweet, and I'm like, no, seriously. I mean, because I'm not. I absolutely am not. And in fact, he's the voice of reason in my life. Like when I want to do something that I know I shouldn't do, I think, what would my son do? And I'm like, God damn it, he would do the right thing. And that pisses me off.
That's great that your son is, you raised your conscience.
I did. Absolutely. That's a great way of saying it. He is my conscience. He's my Jiminy Cricket.
It's time for question number 3. Question number 3, how many times have you seen ACDC?
These are good questions. I got to finally, ACDC is my favorite band. Did you know that?
Someone in this room whose mic is turned off may have done a little research.
Okay. ACDC is my favorite band, and I saw them once, and we went to, I keep calling it the Meadowlands, even though it's some other bullshit name in Jersey now.
Stadium.
Yeah, no, yeah. So, and we got to see him there. It was like, it was, and I was stone cold sober. It was the greatest experience of my life. They're the best.
Awesome.
They are absolutely the best.
You really love ACDC. Now, is that the guy who was in the shorts all the time?
Yes,
Mm-hmm.
yes.
Yep.
And he's older than me. I'm 63. And all I thought of when I was watching Angus, he was spinning on the floor, I'm thinking they're going to have to use a lot of Ben Gay.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what I mean? Like, this poor guy is like, I'm sure in the adrenaline of, he's playing to all these people, that he's into it. And then he must walk off stage after the show's over like an old Jewish man.
He probably does, because
yes,
I'm actually doing some work right now with one of the members of Aerosmith, and they are older too. Right now.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh. They're and they've done well. I don't know. Aerosmith was more drugs. I think mostly ACDC was mostly alcohol. I don't remember them as a good band.
I heard Aerosmith is on a lot of Ben Gay also.
That's the new drug. I got some free Ben Gay. I need some Ben Gay, man.
It is time
on
for
my elbow.
Well, the real question is, do they walk this way? I assume
Oh, you know what?
You know what? No bell because of that pun. You reached over into the other game and gave Carole no bell with that pun.
Let me tell you something.
Loud? Is that?
Let me tell you something, Stephen. I look at you fondly because my husband also does puns, and I roll my eyes at him. So know that you live on in my husband.
I really have no idea how to interpret that, but thank you, I think.
Yes, that is sort of nice. All right, now it is time for question number 4. Question number 4 is, what's the coolest thing you ever said?
Well, if you're talking about like in stand-up, I think the best line I've ever said to a heckler was, this guy was just being an asshole, and I just finally said to him, your mother should have swallowed.
Your mother should have swallowed.
I have another nomination for you, Victor, if you got a moment.
Yes.
Let's see. So I was making a joke in high school, and you were there, and it was, of course, a very bad, very unfunny joke. And I said something, and then you said something like, "Oh, it's best to keep your mouth shut so that people don't know how stupid you are," or something like that. But it was near perfect. It was, I said something stupid and you brought the house down. So it was pretty good. I mean,
yeah, I was pretty good. I was good at the snaps in high school.
Yeah.
That's how I survived. I was like the funny guy. It was very funny. I was like, don't beat me up for being different. Listen to this hilarious joke instead. It is now time. Wait, I'm sorry. I'm going to give you a bell on that question because it was a good talk all around.
Good talk.
It is now time for question number 5. All right, question number 5. What would your biography be titled?
Don't with me.
Wow, that's pretty in your face, you know?
Yeah. That's basically me. Don't with me. That's really in a nutshell.
Was there ever a time where someone did with you?
I've always just had that attitude. Like I'm really good at talking shit. And so no one's ever actually bothered me. Do you know what I mean? Like, so I've never had, I give the illusion of somebody that can kick someone's ass, so nobody fucks with me. Like I used to say about my son and his friends is that, I used to say to my son, I said, I'm not your friend, I'm your mother. And that scared the shit out of him. So yeah. So I just don't fuck with me. That's the name of my
I'm so glad that my mom, I mean, even I don't know you as well as I know my mom, of course, but I'm so glad that my mom is just like the sweetest lady. I think that you may have crushed me if I was your son.
Well, but let me explain something. I mean, I do have that very in your face type of attitude, but the people that I love, I'm there's nothing I wouldn't do for the people that I care about. But I do absolutely have if I don't like you, I don't have to say it. You'll feel it. Because the room gets very cold, like a vampire, like he was saying, like a vampire.
I said Dracula.
Oh, Dracula. But it's true. I mean, if you're ever in a room and you see me talking to somebody and it looks like there's icicles around them, it's probably because I hate them.
I really want to see that.
Well, because in our business you have to be nice, and and then you'll meet somebody and you're like. So,
I think I could talk volumes about our business because I did. I mean, and I think that you have come to some of the same conclusions that I have because you do a combination of things for other people, but also your own thing.
Right.
Yeah, and I mean, without getting too deep into it, I just think that the idea about having to be nice to people, I'm completely done with that. But I'm not mean to people either. I'm just honest with them.
The people who know me know that I have their back at every you know what I mean? I have their back.
Yep.
You me, you're dead to me.
All right.
I'm from Brooklyn. What can I tell you? You know what I mean?
What about people who wake you up? Are they dead?
I bite them in the back and leave them welts. So people don't wake me up anymore. So don't ever wake me up.
You wake me up, I bite you. What do you want? I'm from Brooklyn. Is that a regular Brooklyn thing?
That's a thing.
You terrified me here. I'm really surprised.
That's good. That's good.
Well, it is time for question number 6. Before we do that, let me give you a bell for question number 5. There we go. Boom.
Yay.
All done. All right, it's time for question number 6. Question number 6. What was your first kiss like?
Oh, wow. That's a good question. I don't remember. I really don't.
Oh.
I think I want to say probably in the 6th grade. I don't remember. I'm 63 years old. Could you ask me something a little more relevant, like that happened yesterday? That I could answer. I mean, I don't remember.
I'm sorry the question angered you.
I really don't remember. I can tell you about the first time I had sex. Would you like to hear that?
Oh, sure. I know, especially Rachel would.
And Steven.
I live for this stuff.
It was my Sweet 16 party, and it was such a bizarre party because it was all girls, and I made them all wear.
I like how this is starting out. Go on.
Not the way you think, Stephen. Calm down. And but I made everyone wear a formal dress, even though there were no guys. It was just like we all had these formal dresses on. I had this green, long, formal dress, and I guess my boyfriend from high school picked me up, and we went home. And all I remember about my first time having sex was my green dress was over my head.
Huh.
And we consummated the relationship. That
Was
was
this in Brooklyn too?
So he just didn't
yeah.
So the first time you had sex, he didn't see your face.
He was also from Brooklyn, so that explains a lot.
But she didn't have to see his face either.
I didn't have to see his face either.
True.
It was more one of these things where you just put it over and you're like, just put it in, because it was like such an important thing for this guy to have. He'd been asking for months, can we have sex? And I was like, no. And can we have sex? And no. And I was like, but and finally I was just like, oh, fine.
You just described the female experience.
That was it.
Unfortunately, yes.
Yeah, and I just was like, okay. And it was like, that was it.
So green does mean go after all these years? I missed that.
Terrible. All right. That was a great story. I'm going to say Bell. Here we go.
Well earned.
Thank you.
All right. That was wonderful. You've answered all 6 questions. Now it's time to decide whether or not you get $5. But before we do that, can you tell people out there where to find you?
I'm everywhere. Actually, if you go to Showtime, November 24th at 10 p.m., you'll see me on my show, Funny Women of a Certain Age. It is the 3rd installment. It's called Even More Funny Women of a Certain Age. If we go to the 4th one, I don't know what the we're going to call it, because it was Funny Women of a More Funny, Even More. I think the 4th one should be like, but wait, there's more Funny Women of a Certain Age.
Daughter of Funny Women.
Yeah, exactly. You can on Instagram, Carole Montgomery Comic, on Twitter at National Mom, Carole Montgomery all over Facebook, all over Google. Find me, find my funnywomenofcertainage.com is the website for the show. We're going on a national tour next year at all big theaters. So you'll get to see me, you'll get to see my show.
Cool.
That's wonderful. I can't wait, and I will see it. And also, we're gonna try. Can we try to get her episode out before the special comes out?
Way ahead of you. I already made a note to release this episode on November 23rd.
Oh yay!
A simple yes would have done it. Done. Fine. It would have been fine just to be like yes instead of be like I'm way ahead of you.
I am way ahead.
All right. It's time to decide whether or not you get $5, Carole. We usually canvass the room, so let's do that right now. Dave, what do you think? Should Carole get $5 for her appearance on the show?
Absolutely. We had fighting, Brooklyn, biting, don't wake me up or I'll kill you. My vote is yes. Makes sense.
All right. That was actually a good encapsulation. Wow, Dave. Amazing. It's like you were paying attention this time.
Which one is it?
Okay. Stephen, what do you think? Should Carole get $5 for her appearance on the show?
If I said no, she'd kick my ass. So of course I'm going to say yes.
Don't be so scared, Stephen.
Have you been listening, Dave?
Dave?
I have.
Jeez.
This isn't high school anymore.
All right. Rachel, what do you think? Should Carole get $5 for her appearance on the show?
I booked her, so yes.
What? Wow. I don't know what's gotten into Rachel today, but it's something.
But I am not
Something
afraid of her.
bad.
Like I would have said yes anyway. I just want to be clear.
Yeah, no one's
Nobody
afraid
thought
of
that
you,
you were
Carole.
afraid of
That's
her.
what
What is
everyone's
going
saying.
on?
But everybody else is afraid of her. I just want to say that I want to give her the $5.
No, I'm not afraid of Carole. Why would we be? No, I don't think anybody's afraid of Carole except for Steven.
I
Except
am.
for Steven.
Yeah,
Except
definitely.
Yeah, Steven is.
Steven's afraid. I have that effect
All right.
on computer science people.
As well you should.
All right, Carole. It is now time to ask you, what do you think? Should you get $5 for your appearance on this show?
I'm going to say no because
Oh.
I'm a Jewish mother and I don't want to take money away from you.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, all right. Well, I'll keep it. Way to go. There we go. No $5 for you, but what a wonderful show. Thank you for being on the show today.
Thank you.
You're awesome.
Thank you.
All right. Dave, what did you learn from this week's show?
I learned that when you take food out of my children's mouth.
Is this like your acting reel? What's happening?
And then all of you guys.
Okay. All right, everybody. Check us out at unseemlyquestions.com and 6 Unseemly on all social media.
Starbane's Audio, a podcast network.